We got Shadows Fall. Thanks so much for coming down and partying with us tonight. We appreciate it.
From Santos Party House, this is George Shifter from Horns Up Rocks, and I'm here with Brian Fair from Shadows Fall. Oh, welcome, brother.
It's good to be here, man.
I appreciate this very much so.
No problem, man. No problem.
Brian, I mean, I didn't know about your career, but if there's anybody that doesn't know that you did the radio jingles, that you did Overcast, then jumped into Shadows Fall, and maybe some people think that you've been like, oh, here and there, but no, you've been doing this strong ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing in metal bands since I was like 13, 14 years old, and that was a long time ago. And you know, even Shadows Fall has been together for over 15 years. I've been with them for 12, so it's been a long, crazy run. But it's been a good time, and it's great to see how the metal scene has grown, especially in the U.S. over the last like 10 years. It's been pretty amazing. So it's a cool thing to be a part of.
And many people out there say that you are the pioneer of the metalcore singing style. What do you think about that?
You know, I always just was. I listen to a lot of hardcore, I listen to a lot of thrash metal, a lot of death metal all together, as well as other music, and I just always tried to, you know, sing to whatever fit the riff. If it was a melodic riff, you know, we'd try and add some melody to the vocals. If it was brutal, you had to scream it out. So I never really thought about it too much, like, or had any sort of plan. It just sort of happened, you know. And but it's cool to, like, especially my old band Overcast, you know, we were doing things that at the time a lot of people weren't mixing up some of those styles. And what's funny is when we were doing it, people were like, what are you doing? You know, get your metal out of my hardcore and shit, you know. So but now it's like it's the thing to do. It's pretty funny.
Little did they know what you were trying to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Without planning on it.
Exactly. It just sort of is a happy mistake, you know.
And like, one of the things is, and you know this, you see so many bands that are trying like to fit to a formula, trying to do this, and I would say that what it defines is like it's a formula for failure.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you're trying to do 2 parts this and 2 parts that, where you're trying to mix, you know, 2 successful bands into one thing, it never really works that way. That's not why people were into the bands that got big, because they were doing something different and they were doing something original, and people could feel that and relate to it. And if you try and think of it and have a business plan before you write music, you know, then you're already it's coming off on the wrong foot, you know. It's especially metal fans see through the bullshit real easy.
And Brian, you play a lot of tours, a lot of shows worldwide. Which one is the one that really stands out for you?
You know, we just did China for the first time a few months ago, and that festival was incredible. And we never really thought we'd get to China, you know, and playing places that you know never thought you'd be able to travel to is really always the coolest thing. You know, getting to Australia and the Philippines and places like that, it's really amazing. My favorite tour ever though was probably the Ozfest 2005 when we were out with Iron Maiden and Sabbath, and like, it doesn't really get any better, you know. And plus, Maiden was doing just the first 4 records, like, so it was all the killer, like, old stuff. It was pretty amazing.
And with that said, obviously you and I and every metal fan out there like love music and all the old school so well, but what is the band that you saw and you say, you know what, I want to get a stage and do that? You
know what's funny is I was really young. I think I was in 6th grade, and I saw Cinderella open for Bon Jovi on the Slippery When Wet tour, and it was Cinderella on Night Songs tour. It was the first record, and I walked in and saw Tom Kiefer up there. I was just like, yep. I was like, that's what I want to do.
And here you are. How many? I mean, it's already over 20 years since you've been doing this.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time, man. I mean, Overcast formed in 1990. And like, it's crazy. We were little kids, but you know, it's pretty crazy to think. And now here we are, you know, 2010, just and still doing the same shit. Haven't learned any better yet.
But the really cool thing about that, before we got out of here, is that still people refer to you as Brian from Overcast.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You know, Overcast was together for I think like 7 years or so, and we just put out some 7-inches that you know you can only find on eBay and stuff. But it's cool that the names kind of lived on, and then it was fun to get back together with those guys a few years back and do some reunion shows and re-record some of the old songs and some of the unreleased songs, and to hear how it sounds with like kind of a modern production. It was a lot of fun, and getting back in the van with those guys felt like a total flashback. You know, it was pretty crazy.
And obviously, Retribution, which came out last year, gave you a new platform, which, you know, it led to the Jimmy Fallon Show. And when I saw that, honestly, because when I first heard you guys, I was like, yo, these guys, and I supported you guys, I listened to it, I still do it to this day, you know, and I'm not kissing your ass because you're here, I love fucking Shadows Fall. When I saw you guys on Jimmy Fallon, I was like, fuck yeah, you know, I love that shit, because, you know, it like shows people out there who might not know what heavy metal and heavy music is about, like a different platform, and be like, you know what, these guys rock just as hard as the band that had night, like, maybe it was like, I don't know, Whitney Houston the night before, but yeah, here's Shadows Fall.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to do Fallon, and they let us kind of just do our own thing, and it sounded amazing there, and he was psyched to have a heavy band on the show. And the next day it was something like ridiculously different, like, you know, like
I would forget who it was, but it was some like crazy pop band like the next night. So it was pretty funny to have it kind of back and forth like that. So it was cool.
Before we got out here, any last words for the Shadows Fall fans, the Overcast fans out there? What is coming out in 2011 for Shadows Fall?
We're going to be working on a new record, and just thanks for the 10 years and plus of support, and we'll come back with new music, and we'll see you out on the road.
Brian, thank you so much. For Horns Are Bros, Joe Shifton here from Santa's Party House. And as you know, we're going to be, you know, you and I, like from now on, every time we see each other, we'll talk, catch up with fans with what's going on. Thank you, Santa's Party House, for the patience. And we're going to get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Brian from Shadows motherfucking Goddamn Fall.
Hell yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Woo.